Dan, this is a question for you in the chat before Matt goes. Is David Finlay leading the Bullet Club the right direction they need to go? Just, I know that's hard for you to answer from the chat because I was wondering with Will Ospreay if that would be the direction they were going. It looks like they're going to go towards Finlay. I'm curious. Matt, what did you think on the Will Ospreay stuff?
Did WCW hurt CMLL or AAA when they signed away all their talent and took them into the cruiserweight division?
Yes.
How bad?
I would say, depending on how you want to look at the way that relationship worked, Eric Bischoff helped AAA by bringing in the relationship for like when worlds collide and stuff. In that sense, yes, he helped. But in the fact that once that happened, he signed Psychosis and Eddie and Ray, and he brought all of these guys into the States, which left AAA a new promotion barren. Like a bunch of their stars were gone.
What did they do?
They slowly had to rebuild, and they're still here now, 40 years later, 30 years later. So,
yes, he is, because it's different, and he's giving all those new guys recognition in the Bullet Club. Okay.
Thank you, Dan. That's why. 6 new talent Bullet Club, and 4 of them were champions within 6 months. See, that's why I knew. You mentioned New Japan, and Dan just shows up.
My point is, taking that talent from New Japan, like New Japan is still the WWE of Japan. Like,
for sure.
Even losing that talent, and Bakley said they've been developing a bunch of new young talent, so they're okay letting go. They're going to be okay. Like, they're not going to have your Okadas, and I'll say their names properly since I'm here and I need to sound intelligent. They might not have those guys going forward, but they'll rebuild. They'll start from the ground. They're not going to go out of business. It's not like AEW is killing their business. Like, they're still going to be New Japan and fucking New Japan, just like AAA is still AAA and blah, blah, blah. Like, internationally, yeah, it might hurt them a little bit because now, like, people overseas might not be like, oh, I know these guys and I want to go watch them, other than like the diehard New Japan fans. But like, it is what it is.
What would you think about Ospreay coming on?
I think he's a champion within a year.
Do you think he wins it at All In, or do they give it to him before then and he goes home champion?
Like an international champion, or
he's some form of champion within a year.
Tag champ, maybe.
He's the TBS. No.
I mean, look at the great runs he's had in New Japan with the mid-card titles.
He's also been an IWGP heavyweight champion.
He has been, but he's not necessarily. He necessarily doesn't. He's not a. I don't see Will Ospreay as the belt doesn't make him as a wrestler. He makes that belt, and doesn't matter what belt you give him in AEW, he's going to make that belt something and worth chasing. I'd give him the international to start.
That sounds good. That's a good start.
Then let him tour. Then let him do what Pac did and tour with it for a little bit. Stay home base. Fly him home. You got the money to fly him back every week. But let him do indies internationally with that belt and make it an international belt.
Yeah. Just a few more things here. Brogan, Finlay, and Jay Malachi were both spotted at the WWE Performance Center recently, says PW Insider. They expected to have signed deals with the company. I don't know who Jay Malachi is, and is this Finlay any correlation to the other Finlay?
He's the youngest of Fit Finlay's kids.
How many kids does Fit Finlay have?
Like 50. He's Irish. All they do is, farm potatoes and fuck. I can say that I'm Irish.
How dare you?
What?
Oh, it's true.
I was about to say, that was nothing discriminatory about that. That's 100% facts. Do we have a Ryback moment? I don't know, Al. Do we got a Ryback moment?
Yes. It's one I tried to share Tuesday, but nobody tuned into trivia, so I'm going to share it again.
Your Ryback moment of the week.
I tuned into trivia.
Do I need to pull it up?
I'm not going to do it just yet.
Oh, we're
My
not there
back
yet?
tinfoil hat moment of the week.
Yeah.
I need to clip that so I've got a sound effect for it.
That's what I'm here for. Sound bites and titties.
Sound bites.
My
and
favorite
titties.
sound bites and my favorite titties, Mateo.
Lord.
I'm not going to tell you who I'm talking about on the screen right now either.
Lord. Okay. So, also a couple of injury things. Rey Mysterio has a torn meniscus and has had for 3 months. He finally got surgery on it, is expected to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Let's see. Fightful reports that the person wearing the mask on television is believed to be the person who will play the character post-reveal of the Devil. And that's also true about the other masked assailants. Several people in AEW are said to know who's under the mask, but they've done well to keep it all quiet. They also have ruled out that Britt Baker is not the Devil. Let me repeat that. Britt Baker is not the Devil.
Because it's Max. And if it's not Max, I'm going to stop watching fucking AEW.
Were you guys let down that we didn't get any Devil stuff last night?
I didn't watch.
Well, we got none. There was no reference to the Devil at all in any of the stories that happened.
I was going to say, it was kind of hard to be let down when I didn't watch the show. So, no, I was not, Will. I did, however, read the results and smash or pass it based on reactionary results of not seeing anything. So,
fair enough.
Yeah. Mickie James is no longer listed on the Impact roster. PW insider sources tell them she's taking a break from the company, but remains on good terms and could return at any time. I've previously reported that James hasn't had a contract with Impact since returning to the company in 2021, meaning she's technically a free agent. They're also saying that Kenny King has requested his release from Impact, and it has been granted.
Mickie James being like the only Knockouts Women champion to debut in the Royal Rumble, whose husband is now running SmackDown. Mickie James is a free agent, and while they're on good terms, she's also on good terms with a place that's going to pay her a lot more money. And there's another Royal Rumble coming up, and Trish Stratus just had another run, and now she's gone. So we're going to need a nostalgic Mickie James. That Mickie James?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I would really love to see her helping to book that women's division. That would be.
I would like to see
duper.
her. I would like to see her help book AEW's women's division, so that in this Toni Storm Mariah May conflict, I get a Mickie James Trish Stratus WrestleMania moment. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. I have 2 more things, and then we will do our little Rybacking and then get into the taters and stuff. Randy Orton will be the 5th man on Cody Rhodes' team per Sean Ross Sapp. WWE will announce it before November 25th they're trying to avoid any more CM Punk speculation because they're tired of it, I guess.
CM Punk to WWE confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Check my DMs. Okay, Dan.
Literally nobody wants that but you.
No, I don't really want it.
No one wants it. Maybe Matt Ritter.
Nobody wants what?
Punk.
CM Punk.
Do I want it? No. But do I want it? Yes. Yes, I do. Mostly just to see everyone shit their pants. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no issues with Phil. I enjoy watching Phil. I think he still has value. Am I going to be upset if he decides to never wrestle again? No. Would I be upset if he showed up? No. Would Randy showing up be a better option in ring wise? Yeah, probably. It's funny that people thought that they need to tell the universe that it is Randy Orton before Survivor Series because they're afraid Randy Orton would get booed for not being CM Punk. Because as somebody from Chicago, I can tell you that is not who the fucking Chicago crowd is. We're not those people. Randy Orton's music plays, we're going to fucking pop. We are going to fucking pop. It's not going to be like, oh, we wanted CM Punk, you didn't give it. Like, that's not who Chicago is. So, like, no, send Randy out there. Don't announce it. Let him just show up.
Mm-hmm.
Will fucking explode. It's Randy fucking Orton, you know?
Yeah. WWE's been interested in Okada for years, but there's been more talk about going after the New Japan star as of late. According to Daddy Meltzer, their pitch will likely involve the WWE schedule being easier physically and the fact that he's done everything there is to do in New Japan.
Okay.
Is there a lot to do in New Japan? Bagley, is there a lot to do in New Japan? I don't know.
You could win the best of the Super Dupers.
Yep, best Super Dupers.
You could win the what's the G1 Climax?
The greatest G-Spot Climax, or the G-Spot Climax, the greatest televised climax, uncensored on Japanese television.
You could win the ICUP Hungry Man title.
Yep.
Is that where you eat a bunch of hungry men?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
There's lots using the New Japan Cup. See? I don't even know which one that is.
They have a lot of cups, apparently.
Tons of
So,
cups.
so this person won the Super Dupers, the G1, the ICUP
title.
Hungry Man title, the New Japan. They've won everything. So yeah, I guess like
If they've
do
done
that in
everything,
4 years.
level up. Go to the next gym. Get your spirit stone.
There is no spirit stone, Will.
If you tuned into trivia, you have already
Oh shit.
heard this. But this week was Ryback's birthday. And he's only 42. I didn't realize that he's only 42.
My less attractive knockoff twin brother, older twin brother, turned 42 and no one cared. Poor guy.
He's only 42? He's only 4 years older than me?
Who, Ryback?
Yeah.
You gave away your age.
Okay. I'm
I
not
thought you were still
ashamed
25.
No, I'm not ashamed of my age. Anyways, happy 42nd birthday to the big guy. But if you saw trivia on Thursday, you will have heard this. I'm going to go into a couple other things, but Ryback said his phone was blowing up with text messages from current AEW and WWE talent because everyone assumed the big guy was AEW's mysterious sighting. When Tony Khan said it's one of the world's best pro wrestlers who is universally respected. That being said, Ryback denied he was a mystery signing because he is still not cleared to wrestle due to his shoulder issue that he's had for quite some time.
It's a gimmick at this point, right? Like, please tell me, like, he knows that nobody likes him, nobody thinks he's good, nobody gives, like, except for like 15 people that, you know, constantly suck his dick on TikTok. Like, he knows that nobody really thinks he is that, right?
I'm not sure.
He can't really be that, to think that the entire AEW fan base respects him.
He
Like,
has a Napoleon complex for somebody who's 6'5" and weighs 300 pounds. I've never understood how that would be a thing. His teeny tiny pee-pee syndrome.
He's also doubling down on his war against Twitter and now YouTube. He is quite certain that both platforms are suppressing his content. He's going after Maven now. Someone show me what Maven's click-through rate is. I would love to compare analytics and show people just what is actually going on. You can't have my sub account. You can't have my sub count, the views of the past, and the great analytics that I have, and not be seen still. YouTube, fix my account. Do the right thing. He's upset because the video that he posted about him not being the one to sign at AW only had 4,000 views on it and a 16% click-through rate. As a digital marketer, a 16.1 click-through rate is really fucking good, bro.
Okay, I don't know what those words mean.
A click-through rate is, so like if I'm scrolling through YouTube and I like if I visually put my eyes on your video, that is called an impression.
Yeah,
Right.
If I click on it, that's a click. Your click-through rate is the number of clicks is the number of impressions, or the number of clicks divided by the number of impressions, and that's your click-through rate.
so like your views divided by your impressions.
Yeah. So
We need to have a conversation off air about this because you just blew my mind as to how I'm supposed to be reading analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the panel now, he is the host of Cage My IQ. He is Lieutenant Dirt Sheet Dan Bakley.
he's also let's see.
My favorite ginger.
He's the best.
My two favorite gingers are on screen together.
Yep.
Listen, Jaxpo, I knew Dan before you, so
Okay.
like, you know,
I'll take the L.
Yeah. Ryback's problem is, and the reason, if he really wants help with his digital presence, he should hire me. And I say this because his problem is that if you don't like if he doesn't like what you have to say, he blocks you. The more people you block, the less the algorithm likes you. So if you continue to block people, your content is not going to show up as much. So stop fucking blocking people, and your content will get seen.
Fair enough.
I should reach out to him and should be like, listen, hire me and I can fix your problem.
listen, I'm all about you getting your bag. You can do better. You can. If it come, I mean, I don't know. I guess he would pay better. So like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you could represent me because I'm not gonna pay you as well as Ryback. But like, you can do better than Ryback. I've seen your work. You're worth more than Ryback, Allison. You
You're
really
worth
are.
more than Ryback, Al.
I appreciate that.
I'm just gonna start calling him Skip Sheffield now. I like that better.
Skip Sheffield. That's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yep.
he like keeps like going after like Twitter customer service and like YouTube stuff. Like, no, bro, you need a marketing company. Like, that's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
He should just focus on his nutrition thing that's actually doing well, not about stuff that
Yeah,
doesn't
because his
matter.
nutrition products are really good. Apparently,
They are. He could be the first client of Grey Mark Entertainment.
he could be the first client of Great Market Entertainment.
He could be. What's next on your list?
That is all.
Well, shit. It's back to me because Bo still hasn't figured out what he's going to do for his segment yet.
I'm still working on that.
I've got some stuff from the fallout of Full Gear, and I know that Matt didn't watch it and Bo's only seen part of it, but I'm curious about your guys' takes on a few things that happened over the weekend. There's a really weird love triangle happening on the indies that I'm going to bring up because I've got an interview coming. Yeah, Matt, you're going to love this. And then talk about some stuff that's canon in Connecticut because there's a couple things that I want to bring up. I've got a cool article coming out. I want to get some stuff out there, but we're going to start with fallout from Full Gear first. And the one thing that I want to start with, okay, the Bucks took the L. Along with that came the absolute mental breakdown that was them pretty much throwing. You remember Chris Jericho's hissy fit?
I was just
was
it was like a nod to it.
Yeah, it was pretty much what he did. He was grabbing chairs and beating up the ring and losing his mind. There was a message put out today by Brandon Cutler that said they're taking time off from wrestling. Internally from AEW, they let everybody know everything is fine. They're expected to make a big heel turn. As fans of wrestling, as podcasters, do we think that the sissy pissy pants Young Bucks heels are the best version of the Young Bucks, or were you happier with them as baby faces?
They were baby faces?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they've always been a heelish.
It was kind of like in between where they were, but they weren't.
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong. I was Team Bucks over Jericho and Kenny all day, any day, because like fuck that team and fuck the fact that they won. So I respect throwing a hissy fit over that bullshit. But like, I never saw them as baby. Maybe it's just because I don't fucking like them, but I never saw them as baby faces. They're kind of pricks.
They might as well just embrace it. This is probably the best thing for them to be heels. Embrace, just like you said, being pricks, just going against everybody that hates them or loves them, and just use that. And if you're gonna get people to hate you, you might as well just be heels and go after that.
So does this mean that Jericho is now a babyface?
Yes.
I think in this scenario, he was, because he was just doing a thing with Omega, and they didn't like the fact because of what happened before. He's still being Jericho, where he does heel things, like him and the Bucks went back and forth because he did the low blow in the match. Still, when the ref wasn't looking, it's just that in this scenario, he kind of played a babyface, even though he's in between guy. Like, you can, 1 minute you can be a babyface, the next minute you can be a heel, and that's what Jericho's doing. I just don't know where him and Omega are going to go next, because they got that title shot now. So
hopefully
I don't know how they're
to
going
New
to work
Japan,
that.
so I don't have to watch them.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have to see any of the four of them on my screen, cool.
Dude, when they got suspended, that was the best time in AEW. It was fantastic. Maybe that's also why I don't.
If it's a way to lose to Ricky Starks and Big Bill and to put them over even more, I'll be all about that, and then they can go away.
Yeah.
Second thing from Full Gear, we got to talk about Swerve and Hangman Adam Page.
Love that match.
Al went off on it. Bo, you did have a chance to watch this one.
Yes.
I watched it together. My question is, and I know, Matt, you didn't have a chance to watch it, but I know you've seen the shit all over Twitter about it.
I've seen the shit all over Twitter. I have questions about whether or not Allison saw my comment about not getting her Red Wings.
Oh,
or
no, I
that
saw it. I know what it is.
So, okay.
That's a hard pass.
So this is going to be a very, baby version of Botch Bots and Chair Shots After Dark. Hold on. I got something clever. You ready? Watch this. Bam. Okay. So when is too much in a wrestling match? Do we think we saw some stuff happen last night? Al said earlier in her Pissed Off for Greatness that they were venturing past the death match to almost that XPW level of shock factor with what they were doing. Do you guys feel like in a wrestling match, specifically one like a Texas death match, is there a point when too much is too much?
There's a point where the risk outweighs the reward. However, especially if everyone is properly tested, Swerve and Hangman swapping bodily fluids is not somewhere that, the risk outweighs the reward. That I'm talking like fucking New Jack tasing a guy off a fucking scaffold through 40 fucking tape. Like, risk outweighs the reward. All I have heard post Texas death matches, Swerve is a made man. Swerve came out bigger. Swerve this, Swerve that. Everyone is sucking Swerve's dick the way Hangman was drinking that blood. Like, that is all I have heard. So, do I think it was too much? I didn't watch the match. I don't know. I think too much is kind of relative to the person, like how much you can handle. I can sit here and I can watch every Saw movie, no problem, and eat fucking spaghetti that looks like fucking, whatever, and be fine. Some people can't handle it. They turn it's a relative as far as that goes too much. There is a point where the risk outweighs the reward. Did they do anything in this match that seemed like it was so dangerous someone was going to end their life and that there was going to be no payoff to equal it? Like, was there anything that bad in it?
No.
The choking.
I think the only questionable thing was.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, you could go.
I was going to say, for me, it really was like I thought maybe like the choking with the chain, like hanging Hangman from a fucking chain was a little like that could go really south.
Tell me you don't remember when the Big Boss Man got pulled up with the Hell in a Cell without telling me.
Well, how about when Baron Corbin did it to Roman Reigns, and then they had the dog food that they used afterwards. So
also Hangman, I think Hangman just has a kink for like they crucified him, they're hanging him. Like I think this is just a thing he enjoys.
Autoerotic asphyxiation is a real thing.
At the end of the day, his name is Hangman.
I mean, really,
Go ahead, Dan.
If you look at the match, this was a rare scenario where you could say both guys got over, even though Swerve got the win and it puts him right over. It took basically 3 guys to finish Hangman, and even in a loss, Hangman got over as well. But I think it meant more.
Me too. That's nothing special.
And it was worth more though that Swerve got the win because he's a guy that needs the momentum, and I think it's going to do great for him. And just the match, they had a lot of spots in the match, but it wasn't anything really too dangerous. Like you could say the blood was a little bit too much, the hang, but other than that, it was a lot of spots where they were safe with the spots and no one really got hurt too much.
Yeah. For me, I think the only thing that truly was like, this is too much was and it was the beginning of the match. He's literally squeezing Swerve's cuts together so the blood drips out into his fucking mouth, and then he spits it out like fucking
Triple H.
Triple H does the fucking water. Like, it was horrifying. Like,
there were multiple points in the match where he would get punched, and Adam Page specifically, because he would get hit and you would see the pink mist like flying off from how hard he was bleeding.
Yeah.
Was the Young Bucks and Gangrel thing a different pay-per-view? Or was that this pay-per-view?
Different pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other thing I will say is I do think that they should have changed the ring ropes after that match, or this match should have been the main event, because seeing the other wrestlers having to like be on those blood covered ring ropes was, you know how
expensive ring ropes are. You think there's not a chance that Indy Fuck has more than one set of rings or more than one set of ropes.
I definitely know that they changed the bottom because they just take it off. Yeah.
The canvas,
But they could have changed those ropes.
Those ropes are still taped every show. You can look at them and tell they use the same rope system. It was
disgusting.
Yeah.
All I can say about this is, from what I have heard about this match and what I've seen on Twitter, AEW will not be able to have another lights out main event, because if this was not a lights out main event, unsanctioned, too much brutality, I don't know how much farther they can go beyond this and justify it as being, worthy of not being sanctioned after doing this sanction. So
we're a couple steps away from a syringe needle in somebody's hoo-hoo, guys.
Whatever you and Allison are going to do after the show,
that's y'all.
You don't even know.
The spot that got me, the blood was like, I didn't really like that spot, was the staple to the cheek.
Yeah, that was
dude.
tough.
That I watched that night. Will got the pleasure of watching my reaction to this match, and I came up off my seat. I was like, "Oh my god, he just that sucks."
It was the picture that he took off of the fridge. That's what
Yeah.
was important about stapling that picture to his face, was because that was the picture that Swerve took off of Adam Page's fridge when they broke into his house. So that was what was important about doing it. And Swerve, like, Swerve was beat the fuck up. You're absolutely right. He was a made man. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Matt, if you needed to go, do you want to plug yourself real quick and tell everybody where to find you?
Did you have one more thing about the thing before? I mean, in a little bit, but within like the next 8 minutes, I gotta go.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll knock out a couple more things. The big one next was Julia Hart, Queen of the Mid Card. I don't want to say it almost seemed predictable, but I was very happy with the outcome. The three women performed out just crazy considering who was in the match, because none of them had that breakaway match that said, I'm a star, and somehow they all three managed to do that in this match. The finish protected everybody, which is hard to do. And I feel like overall it was good. And Julia Hart, in my opinion, claimed the role as being the queen of the mid-card. No, what happened was Sky Blue got hit. No.
She kind of, what they did with her was the teasing that in between gimmick of hers. They gave her new music. She took the hat off at the beginning and put like a
Crown.
evil crown tiara on her, and she has that more edgy side to her. And I think the end of this match was more about kind of keeping that feud going between Julia and Sky Blue. And I think that's going to continue. I don't know where it leaves Statlander. I don't know, because I loved what she did. She was very prominent with that title, defended it a lot, I think 6-7 times. And with that protecting her, even though she loses, it keeps her in it. But then it's like, are they going to continue this 3-woman rivalry for the title, or are they just going to go towards Sky Blue and Julia Hart, and then maybe shoot Chris Statlander up to the women's world title now?
So if I'm not mistaken, somebody hit their finisher and then Julia came in and took the pin, right?
Statlander hit Sky Blue with, I think, her finish, but then Julia Hart pushed her out of the way and took the pin.
Yeah.
Sky's knew everything, and it was a chef's kiss. I'm happy with the call, the way they did it. I'm happy with Julia Hart getting the TBS title. She earned it. It surprised me that House of Black didn't. I thought they were going to clean house last night. The way they were building that faction up, I thought they were coming with it. Last one before we get the big general overall reaction is MJF went into the media scrum after the show last night. Very emotional about what happened. The beginning of the show, we saw him get hurt after the buy-in match. We see him get shipped off in an ambulance. We see him come back. He is crazy over, even more over as a babyface now than he was as a heel, which seems surprising.
I hate it.
How do we feel about what they're doing with our boy Max?
Here's my thing. If you're going to try to sell an injury angle and someone being carted off to the hospital, the person in the ambulance that stays in the back of the ambulance that's loading up said person into the ambulance should not have on an AEW polo. Like, come on, at least try to make it believable. Like, we know he's not really hurt and he's not really getting in this ambulance, but like, come on.
Maybe the first responder was a huge mark.
I've seen more lately with MJF. They have this guy that does chiropractic work for wrestlers, and he has his own YouTube channel. And it just so happens this week they had MJF on there, and he went more into detail about just the business. He was just like, and he mentions the Acclaimed. These guys are over. He was like, but people are so ingrained in if you're over and then they knock you down a peg that you're just non-existent now, and people should just love you for the character that you are. You're still great wrestlers. It's just that your shelf of life of being over usually isn't that long, and you just try to ride it. And even though they're not big right now, the Acclaimed are still a hot act to the crowd. They're still selling merch, and he thinks that the fans need to embrace that and not just have that short mindset that we always have. It's just about who is hot at the moment instead of who has just had the longevity. And I think with him having this free agency, which I think he's already signed, I think they just aren't saying anything until January when it comes to that point. I think he's just trying to sell his overall character. All you see is the heel tactics and everything. You never saw his true personality about like everybody else. It was just about him. Now you're seeing him in the last few months wrestle a lot more frequently. You're seeing more of just different sides of him, and it's going to make him worth more of a character at the end game. He's going to make the money. You're going to be able to do more with him now, even though the heel side of things is his true thing that got him noticed and everybody likes about him. It's just that it's going to be able to use that in-betweenness instead of just the heel. You get stuck in the heel thing, and even though it's great, it's only going to push you so far. And now he can do more work with it.
You still have to be true to who you are. That's why I don't like this. Him apologizing to the Acclaimed for getting beat up on his behalf, him scissoring and showing sportsmanship after a match with Daniel Garcia, like MJF still needs to be MJF. We saw with Adam Cole, him being himself while also like having a friend and kind of being a babyface. You can't sit here and tell me that you're my scumbag and not be a fucking scumbag in any way, shape, or form. And that's why I need him to be the devil, and I need this all to be a charade, because other than that, he's lost all his appeal to me. Like, he's not MJF anymore. To me, he's not.
Well, he's still doing some of that. Like, he still used the ring to win. He still low blowed Jay White. He still did a lot of that. It's just that he's having that more of that likable personality, even though he's still like. I mean, how many wrestlers do we know that
less likable personality? Like, when I see him apologizing to the Acclaimed, it kind of makes me sick to my stomach. Like, who the fuck are you, and where did my guy go?
But he only used the ring to win because Adam Cole brought it to him. He hasn't been keeping it in his crotch pocket.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think the devil's Adam Cole. I think it's him, and I think this whole thing with Roddy and the goons, they're the people helping Adam Cole.
But I do now have to go now on that note. MJF should be the devil, or otherwise fuck MJF. I love you guys. Thank you. If you guys like me, you want to follow me, Twitter, @MattRitter, MattRiddr. Getting off tonight. Will be there. Come check us out, 11 p.m. Twitch.tv/CreationWorld, YouTube.com/CreationWorld, and everywhere else on social at Smacking It Raw.
Love you, Mateo. I'll see you in a couple hours, Bubba.
Yep, love you. Bye.
Bye. Let me shuffle everybody around. Okay. Dan, Bo, you can give me a reaction based on the results but the percentage you've watched. Dan, me, you, and Al have all seen the whole pay-per-view. Overall, what would you guys rate it? Because the reason why I ask is because I said this was AEW's best show of the year as far as pay-per-views go. From beginning to end, I think this was their best show of 2023.
I would almost have to agree with you because I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I feel like some people will think that they did too much having their top talent put over other stars, but that's what I liked about this. That a lot of the like talent that's already there, they're already well known. They're putting people over. Like you didn't expect FTR to kind of put over Big Bill and what's his name, Ricky Starks. Even though I thought they were going to retain, but they did. They had that big spot at the end, and it wasn't like they had La Faction, La Faction, yeah, Dana and Oblaze be the ones to get knocked down. They made it so that it was FTR. That's what made that match work at the end, was the fact that FTR was the team to get knocked down to allow Ricky Starks to be the one to take the titles. We mentioned it. Julia Hart got the win. And then even in that match, Sky Blue debuted the new look. You had MJF get the win with her, get a lot more people and kind of invested into the storyline because we thought Adam Cole was going to be in there. You had the Texas Death Match. You had the women's title match was still good. Orange Cassidy got that win over John Moxley. I kind of figured that was going to happen with Moxley going to Wrestle Kingdom to have that match with Ospreay and Dave Finlay, because I think they're going to put over David Finlay in the end game of that. So I figured he wasn't going to go into that with the title and then lose, because you don't do that in another promotion because it makes you look weak. But he made Orange Cassidy look even better. And I like that in the post match where he goes, I'm still not going to defend the title against Hangman and Swerve. I thought that was a little bit funny. What one am I missing? I know I'm missing a few more matches. They still made Claudio look good in the pre-show. I kind of like the fact that Eddie Kingston got the victory and that he stayed that in the Continental tournament, that he's going to put not one but both of his titles up, and they're going to rename it the Triple Crown. And I found out that it's going to be defended on all three promotions.
That's what we were saying earlier when we were talking.
Because a lot of people were like, what's going to happen with Gabriel Kidd? How is he not getting his title shot now? And then they said, no, he's going to get the first crack at the Triple Crown champion once it's crowned. So I think that was a great thing to kind of bolt that into overall. But other than that, like, I enjoyed it. You know, putting a young talent over, they need to do that. You can't just rely on the Kenny Omegas, the Bucks, Jerichos, and them the whole time. You got to be able to breed new talent and get them going. I think that's what they're doing. And I think the big thing was Swerve. Swerve in that. He's a talent that I thought would have thrived in WWE. Never really got going. They let him go rather quickly, and he's getting that new lease in life in AEW. And you're finally seeing it, like we've been saying a year and a half. When are they going to push this guy? And they're finally pushing the button at the right time.
Oh yeah, Al, what did you think overall? Full Gear.
Every AEW pay-per-view I feel like is an hour too long. But I will say this was definitely one of their better showings as far as like a pay-per-view. I could have done without the Will Ospreay promise ring. Like, you could have done that shit on Dynamite. They could have done that shit Friday on Collision. Like, which is where it should have been done.
To boost the numbers of Collision.
Yeah, to boost the numbers of Collision. While I think that the Texas Death Match went just a little too far, I do think that it was a really good match. Yeah, I mean, I think they made some good decisions with the stories. So things are starting to get better in AEW. I just want them to do better by the women, really. And we all know that I'm saying this, that the devil is Jack Perry, again, because like logically it makes sense, sort of, not with like the friends, because Jack Perry ain't got no friends, but he may have made new friends. But I mean, he was suspended. He's been unsuspended. Like, you know, there's no reason he's not really on TV other than they don't have a story for him. But he already has beef with Max because of, you know, the 4 pillar situation. He kind of got screwed. during all of that. He got screwed by Christian Cage and all of that, and he got screwed by the Dinosaur, and it would make sense as well. Not as I really don't want that to be fucking predictable. I really don't want it to be Adam Cole because it's just too predictable.
I don't like that. It just makes me wonder, who are the people helping him? That's the only thing, because it would, you could say with, if it was Adam Cole, you could say Roderick Strong and the two other guys easily be boom, that they helped him out. Or you could say, because how short the person was and how short the arms were, you can make a case the first time you saw the person that it could have been Britt Baker, because you haven't seen her.
They have ruled out that it is Britt Baker. Fightful ruled her out as being that.
I think they could just say that, but haven't heard do that for Adam Cole.
Yeah,
it could work, but then why attack Jay White? Jay White and Adam Cole had nothing to do other than, so that would be my reason to rule her out, is because why attack Jay White when Adam Cole had nothing to do with it?
True.
Him.
It could be Kyle O'Reilly, and the other people could be Bobby Fish and company. You never know.
Yeah, because Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and then fortunate to get in both groups that were with Adam Cole.
Adam Cole may not necessarily be involved with who the devil is, but it may be for his benefit.
Because when you look at the storyline, the two groups that Adam Cole from is Red Dragon and with the Kingdom. He was part of the Kingdom when they first formed in Ring of Honor, New Japan. And you got those three. And then Red Dragon was three people as well. And all they've done was kind of take out Maria Kanellis-Bennett because she's just managing people on Ring of Honor now. So I could see part of that where they kind of fuse both teams together to make a bigger stable.
Yeah, but no, overall everything was good. I worry about them doing something stupid with the devil.
I do have a question though. What are you guys' thoughts on the whole Ronda Rousey thing now? I don't know if you mentioned it before.
We've already touched on Ronda. We said that we were all kind of do your thing. If she's getting reps on the indies and stuff, go for it. So, I think that's it. I do have one announcement to make. I've got a really cool interview coming up on Tuesday. There's a ridiculous love triangle happening right now in the independent scene between the First Lady of Prolific Wrestling, Ruthless Lala, Isaiah Wolf, Tiberius Asante. They've been going back and forth on Twitter. People are upset because some people are, with some people are with other people, some people are wrestling, some people, there's titles involved. There's a lot of stuff. So I've got a promo picture for it. Hold on. Oh,
motherfucker, you son of a bitch.
That was not it. Sorry, Bo. Hold on. Let me find it.
Oh my God.
So mean.
Fucking hate you right now. I just shit my pants.
That's not nice.
That's the picture. So
thank you, Allison, for being on my side.
So
I will give you extra nachos.
That's right.
So Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be sitting down with Ruthless Lala, Tiberius Asante. We're going to kind of dissect this wrestling love triangle they found themselves in. But before we go, we got to plug ourselves. Dan, tell everybody where to find you, what you've got going on, and what's new and exciting.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CageIQ. I've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus from my MMA podcast, just kind of burned myself out a little bit. So I'm kind of focusing more on my MMA interviews and everything. I did one a couple weeks ago with Kurt Holabo, who won this past season's The Ultimate Fighter. You can check that out. I got a couple more in the works of a few regional scene fighters that are on the way up. And then I've been doing like a nice side thing, doing just like sports betting, just putting picks out and getting that out there, just kind of experimenting with other stuff in sports. So you can check all that out on my Twitter at CageIQ.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you stopping by, Bakley. Bo, what's going on in your world, Bubba?
A whole lot, a little bit of both. You can find me here every Sunday for Botch Spots and Chair Shots and Nerdy News at 420. You can find me on Off the Top Media on Mondays and Tuesdays for Sorry for the Interruption and NXT on Tats. Anything else you would like to know, please go give me a follow on Twitter at JaxBo2020 to stay up to date.
Al?
I would like to give a big old shout out to Metal Mike for securing me a Jey Uso figure. So, as soon as I get my Jey Uso figure, there will be a little rebranding of the heel support group, since all of my heels in my heel support group are now fucking faces.
Including Max. Who saw that one
Including
coming?
Max. Like, what the fuck? So series 2 of the heel support group will be called As the Bloodline Turns. I've been waiting to get a Jey Uso so that I could do this. I have The Rock, I have Roman, I have Jimmy, and I have Jay. So as soon as I get my Jay figure, we will see some new heel support group comics coming out. You can find all of my other shenanigans on Instagram, TikTok, and I can't stop going. Twitter's at justagirl918. Something else that I'm going to be bringing back here shortly. Every year, for the past 2 years, I have done the 12 days of WrestleMas. I guess it will be I guess I changed it to Triple H last year because Vince was retired. So we will be doing the 12 days of WrestleMas. If you would like to submit your ideas for the 12 days of WrestleMas, please slide into those DMs. I'm also going to be bringing back Thirst Trap Thursdays. So make sure to follow me so you don't miss the things.
Sweet. Remember to sub on Patreon, patreon.com/Rivet City Radio. Click the link in the description if you're joining the Discord. Direct line to all the Botch Spots and Chair Shots Off the Top Media, Rivet City Radio hosts and producers. Check out the Angry Lemonade merch shop. It's also in the description. Most importantly, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, give us that Jeff Bezos money. If he's got too much of it, give it to us. Give it to the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. Give it to the Fanatics Network. Give it to Off the Top. Give it to anybody as long as Amazon doesn't get it. But that's it. We made it. We did the whole thing. We made it the whole time. Anything for the class before I do the thing?
Do the thing.
No?
Do it.
Well, now as we close another episode of Botch Spots and Chair Shots, take a minute to thank you for listening. Remind you to go wherever you do anything on the internet. Like, follow, subscribe, unsubscribe, and then subscribe again. Leave a comment telling me how great I am or how terrible I sound. Either way, it helps the algorithm. It helps find new listeners. And really, really generous to be one of the VIP people. Head over to patreon.com and donate to the Rivet City Radio Podcast Network. You get some fantastic swag. We get some fantastic guests. It's a win-win. For my boy Dirt Sheet Dan Bakley, for the Ginger Ninja Jaxbo, and for the boss bitch Allison, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.
Yeet.